Chapter 13. The sea waves stilled, the sky cold, black and static. Even the traffic was patient and stationary as the blue lights, bright as short-lived iris, shone in and out of the despairing gaps. It was cold in the ambulance. Little clouds of condensation were forming in the tight space between the makeshift beds, and around each corner the screaming siren whirred off pitch and slid everything to one side like a distorted mirror. The lights were red as fat ladybirds, and each set they passed threw up a new obstacle. Desolate chip shops and dulled cathedrals passed in the haste, and speed bumps were turbulent and thunderous as they quaked up through Graham and Elspeth's feet and on the unstable legs of the hospital beds. Like a child dead to the world, Violet lay peaceful in a deep sleep trance. They could only pray she was dreaming and would awake oblivious to this drama, her pale face fading into the white of the pillow, her eyelids clinked with mystery. Instruments clanged in their mobile cases, stethoscopes cursed with ill fate, and the stench of antiseptic, a heavy drug on the becoming reality. The journey was sickening and empty. There was no speaking, only sorrow. Elspeth rested her hand over Violet's, her thumb gently monitoring the life still beating through her body. She felt helpless, out of control, like a lost fish stranded upstream. Graham had his arms folded defensively, his eyes heavy from the burden of his deceptive plan to escape to Denmark. His impeding selfishness lay over him like a troubling ghost, unyielding and sombre. The brakes were slammed, and the two ambulance crew rushed to the back of the van, unstrapping the restraints so the bed slid down the ramp. Patients in the car park were looking on at the unfolding terror, and shadows fell from the trees collapsing around the hospital square. They were back to square one, back where all the nightmares began. Back to the days when they should have listened to Quinn, when they still had the chance to take his advice and free Violet from this savage disease. The triage nurses and doctors flocked down the grey wards like grass shooting up through concrete, and time hurried on knifing around the clock face. The afternoon hours had disappeared, and all that was left was the awakening black night. They prayed for a light, a creak in the cloud. They prayed the plug hadn't been pulled on such an early, promising life. Like a sinner at confession, Graham vowed to cease the plans and escape to Denmark. His actions would be unexplainable and detached. He didn't want that cross to bear, even if it did mean international success and a shunt in the stomach to the fat cats at Blue Grape. The scent of celebration and morning flowers penetrated each particle of air in the wards till collectively smelling like a cheap air freshener. Continuous streams from the cardiogram broke the silence like the constant din of a car door that's been opened when the lights have been left on. The only sign of Quinn was a muffled voicemail left on Graham's phone. He was either drunk or stupidly worried. "It's me. I'm on my way. So sorry I'm late, but I've got the flight sorted. If we can get out by 3 a.m, we are homebound for Denmark. Don't waste any time. Meet me at the Juneberg Infirmary at 2 a.m. Don't be late. I have a car waiting. This could be our only chance." Graham peered through the glass at his helpless daughter, lying in limbo with wires for limbs like a human pylon. She was stable but unpredictable. There was no telling whether she'd make it through the flight. Denmark was a calling that he had ignored. He couldn't afford to be foolish now.